Hello everyone, my name is Yash. I am a UX designer currently working in AAA gaming. In this video, we are going to play this game called Solarpunk and talk about its UX as we play it. Alright, so we are in the main menu already, and the first thing I'm noticing is how the buttons are laid out. I know two of these buttons are wider than all the other buttons, probably because they'll start the game, so they want to emphasize them differently. The multiplayer and character buttons are grayed out. I'm assuming these are either not available in the demo or maybe there's something else. I also want to quickly have a look at the settings just to see what they have. One of the things that I'm finding missing in this is how it doesn't really have a back button that lets me go back without really saving my settings. Not sure why, but that's something I'm finding missing in quite a few games actually. I think that's a really important one, even though technically I should be able to press escape to exit out of this, which in this case even that doesn't happen. So that really means that if I do not want to apply the changes I just made, I need to remember all of them to be able to revert back. But for now, let's just get started with the game. Welcome to the Solarpunk demo. Have fun farming, building your home and flying with the airship. This is what the developers Ben and Patrick are saying, so let's get started. Growing raspberries early on is essential for securing a steady food supply. They also satisfy thirst a little bit. That was nearly not enough time for me to completely read that, but somehow I managed to be able to do that. Alright, so we are opening our eyes on this new world. That angle is a little bit weird. The floating islands, by the way, are reminding me of Tears of the Kingdom. Really liking the art style, by the way. Alright, so right away I'm seeing a bunch of things on my HUD. I'm looking at my vitals and I see that I need to eat something really quickly. And that's what the tutorial is actually telling me to do. So I need to collect a berry bush, which already is here. Alright, so I pressed E to collect that. Must be placed in farmland. Not sure what exactly I'm holding. Is it like a piece of soil? I don't know. It says R plus move mouse to rotate. Okay. Don't really think I need that right now. But either way, let's move on to the next piece. Oh, by the way, I need to actually eat this thing. So how do I access my... Okay, I think that's number 2. So that's what will let me hold the raspberry. And then I can probably eat that by a click. All right, that's perfect. I'm going to eat one more. I think I'll need a few more. Okay, that unlocks sprinting. That's nice. Alright, so let me try to find some more berries. I wonder if sprinting is actually consuming a little bit more of my energy. Maybe I would feel hungry sooner. I don't see any indications for that, so I'm not really sure if that's a thing. Many games actually do use that kind of system, so I'm assuming we have that in this game too. But either way, let's move on to my next piece. So in the tutorial section, my first task is completed, which is nice. I really like the simplicity of the checklist. A lot of games actually fail in this. It's such a simple thing, but somehow they still manage to not get it right. But so we have to chop a tree and we have to mine a stone with the pickaxe. Alright, so I'm wondering if we need like a tool to chop a tree, or I can simply just start punching into the tree like we do in some other games. It doesn't seem like I can. Alright, so how exactly am I supposed to chop the tree? Let's see. Do I use the stick somehow? Doesn't seem like I can. Okay, so if I'm not able to punch into a tree, it seems like I should be able to craft a tool to be able to do this. Not sure what exactly is the keybind for that though. Keybinds are not really available, so not really sure what I'm supposed to do at this point. Yeah, there needs to be a little bit more clear guidance about this in the tutorial. I'm just collecting whatever I can find at this point. I really feel like we need to build a tool to be able to... Oh, okay. So that is a quick crafting menu. And I see that this one has an axe, which is probably what we need right now. So this is something that they should ideally mention in the tutorial, because otherwise there is no way for me to know where exactly I can find an axe to be able to do this. Because I opened this menu by mistake. I was actually pressing E to pick up that stick, but I actually ended up pressing F. But anyway, we need to build that axe. And it seems like we already have the items needed for this. I'm just going to craft this. We will talk a little bit more about this menu in just a minute. I just want to get done with these initial tasks just so that we can see what exactly we need to do after that. But yeah, so the tree is chopped, our task is complete. This tree pretty much just fell down right there. Okay, we got the items from that though, so that's fine. So I'm just going to chop a few more trees. I see that my tool has a bar, which is really telling me that it is having a limited life. No, I don't want to fall down. Okay, let's see. Let's test this out then. Okay, so I think I'm just back as usual, and I'm definitely seeing that my vitals have gone down quite significantly. So I need to find some more food now, which is a problem. I don't think I can see any more berries, and I don't have any more food. So yeah, not really sure what's the plan here. I guess the game did not really expect people to fall down, and that's why they did not really have that many sources of food at this point. Let's see. I don't think I see anything anywhere over here. And I can't even climb this bit, which is unfortunate. All right, let's go down then. I am really losing my health. I wonder if I can maybe grow something really quickly. It's probably unrealistic to think that right now, but I am not really sure. Oh, by the way, I just noticed that F keybind there, which tells me that I can open the crafting menu. Totally did not see that before. Oh, and how exactly did my hunger bar increase? Because I think I was losing it, wasn't I? So anyway, I should just get to the third task for now then. I see that there are some stones here already. So let me start by crafting a pickaxe. And I need one more stone here, which I really conveniently already have here, which is nice. All right, let's build this, craft. And now we have number 3 over here. Let's do this. Iron ore. Okay, we got a stone, but it seems like our task is not complete. Not really sure why. I don't know, maybe should we do another one? Maybe that will fix the problem. Okay, this one just gave iron ore. Oh, maybe is it because it's iron ore? That's why it's not really working. It doesn't consider this a stone. Is this a stone then? Looks like it. Yes. Okay, that worked perfectly. All right, so we have a bunch of other things that we need to do. First, we need to craft a hoe. Then we need to craft and place a workbench. And then we need to plant and water a berry bush. For a hoe, we need one more stick. And for a crafting table, was it? Or no, it's a workbench, which we don't really have here. Are they calling the workbench as the crafting table also? I don't know. Oh, I can actually craft a stick, I think. That's helpful. So let's do that. All right, so now we can craft a hoe, which is good. And it's already nighttime. All right, I'm starting to wonder if we have any effects because of the nighttime and the rain. The HUD or the game doesn't really tell me anything, so I'm assuming that we don't. Typically, we have things like health effects, like if you are out in the cold, maybe you start getting some damage and things like that. But I think this game is probably simple enough to not have any such mechanics, at least in the tutorial. But yeah, we'll see what this looks like eventually. I just want to bring this tool over here. That's fairly intuitive, and I think it's pretty similar in most of these kind of games that you can drag and drop these items between your inventory and your quick select menu. I just wish maybe the inventory was a little bit lower, so it was easier for me to drag and drop these items. Right now the distance is a bit too much. But either way, I want to focus on the next task, which is to craft and place a workbench. Let's go back to this one. Is that the same thing as a crafting table, I wonder? Because that's the only thing I'm seeing that's similar to the workbench. So I'm just going to craft this, and let me just open that. Is there a way to quickly transfer my items? Double click is not working, single click, left click, nothing is working. All right, so I need to just drag and drop, and that's the only thing I can do to be able to achieve this. I'm also going to bring my tools slightly more up front so they are easier to access. And let's bring the crafting table over here as well. So let's place this over here. Okay, so that indeed is the workbench. That's definitely a problem. The game is already using two different words for the same item, which can be confusing for many players. But just because this was the only thing available right now, that saved me from getting confused more. But either way, we have crafted this. I'm going to again talk a little bit more about this menu. Just want to get done with some more tasks. So I'm just going to see. All right, so we have a bunch of new things that we can build from this, and I definitely have some thoughts on this menu as well. More on that in just a minute. For now, we just need to plant and water a berry bush. So I think we have berry seeds over here, and I think we can get started with the hoe and maybe start doing this. And I think we can only do 2 anyway, so I'm just going to do 2 for now. And I'm going to plant these things here. At this point, I'm not sure about 2 things. 1, it's already raining, so do I still need to water the berry bush? And 2, in either case, how exactly am I supposed to water them? Do I need a different tool for this? I obviously don't really see anything over here, so I'm going to go back to this one. And yes, okay, I see a water can. All right, let's craft this one. I think some more clarity for this can be useful. Maybe this one can have a subtask that asks the players to craft a water can first before they can complete the main task. These kind of things can be useful, especially for new players who are not as familiar with games like these. But yeah, so I at this point have an empty water can. I know there is a pond. Oh no, that's not a pond. That's just not somewhere I need to go. I don't want to fall down once again. But yeah, so I did see a pond before somewhere in that direction. I think I can fill up my water can over there. I just need to find it, and for that I need to see properly, which I can't right now because it's too dark. Oh wait, is that it? Yes, that's the pond. I'm so glad I found this. Let's try this. Right click to fill the can, that works perfectly. Left click to use it, which is nice. It's a non-convention that is used in many other similar games with a similar mechanic. And I feel like this game doesn't really need to be this dark. I mean, I'm struggling to see anything here. And they don't have any settings to calibrate my screen brightness, so that makes it worse. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. I kind of wish that we made our base near the pond, because that's a trip I will need to make quite frequently. But either way, I really need water really quickly and food as well. And I don't know how long this berry bush will take. But alright, so this is done. Now let's look at the next tasks. So build and place research table, craft a build hammer, and build and place a bed. Alright, so research table should be here. Oh, we need a cloth for this. Not really sure how I can get that. Oh, there it is. Cloth. And for this we need cotton, which obviously again we don't have. So moving on to the next one, we need to craft a build hammer. We need some stone and stick for this. And we need to place a bed, which should be in furniture. I'm not sure why exactly I don't see it. That's a bit strange to not have an item that's already being called for in the tutorial. Maybe it will show up a little bit later, I'm assuming. But yeah, let's go. And where exactly are my plants? I think those are these ones. I'm not really sure if I'll be able to manage using these for my food and my thirst. Alright, anyway, so I'm just going to talk about some of these menus and some other UX observations that I had along the way. In this menu, the hierarchy of this can be worked on a little bit, because the craft button kind of makes a little bit more sense over here alongside these items. It's just easier to make that association. If, for example, you don't have a specific item that you can use for crafting, then that's grayed out, and that makes a little bit more sense alongside the ingredients needed to build that item. Along with this, I also felt that maybe there is a state difference in these ones. For the items that you can build, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I felt like there was a state difference. So basically what I'm getting to is, in this grid, ideally I should have an easier way to understand at a glance which items I can craft with the given items I have and which I can't. Right now, I, for example, cannot really craft this one. So the tile ideally should have a different state just to communicate that without me needing to click that and seeing that afterwards. These categories are fairly nice. They are quite self-explanatory in terms of the kind of items that they would entail, which is nice. And I really like the fact that they also have a section for all items. I'm wondering, what exactly is the survival guide? Is it something that would tell me more about the game mechanics? Oh, that's interesting. So this is something that I need to actually craft to be able to have this information. It's a little bit strange. Ideally, this is something that should be there from the beginning. Oh, I'm really hungry, by the way. Are the berries ready? I still am not able to use these berries, which is unfortunate. Yeah, not really sure at this point what I should do. I really feel like maybe I should start this game again just so that I can make up for the lost time and vitals that I had when I fell down off that cliff. And I find that the vital bars are quite forgiving actually. I initially thought that maybe, oh, I have like a small segment of that circle remaining. So I thought that maybe I'd lose my health in just a few minutes, but that was definitely not the case. So that was nice. Although I think what could have been more helpful is just to have an indication of time near the berry plants that would tell me the remaining time that I still need to wait for to get these berries. For now, it's good because the berries are ready, but it would have been a useful piece of information nonetheless. Maybe they could have also done the same thing with the vital bars. Not sure how, but knowing the exact amount of time left for each of those would have been helpful. But anyway, so my vitals are going up, which is good. And I have a berry bag, so I'm just going to put the seeds in this and water this one again. And let me repeat that with this one as well. That's perfect. I think I should be able to revive my health once I build a bed. That's a typical mechanic in many of these games, such as Minecraft. The hunger part was already taken care of with the berries. Regarding the thirst, though, I'm not really sure how exactly to deal with that because obviously I cannot really use the watering can to drink water, and I don't think I was able to drink the water from that pond either. So I'm not really sure what exactly I need to do to be able to deal with that. Let's look at this thing. Okay, there you go. You can satisfy your thirst by eating food like berries or drinking fresh water from a rain collector. Okay, so we won't be able to really drink right away from the pond. I feel like this guide is actually quite comprehensive and covers a lot of things that the player needs to do. I wonder why exactly they did not have a task to craft this survival guide as a part of the tutorial, because that would have been a really helpful thing to do, especially because this guides the player in terms of what exactly they should be doing in the game. So that feels like a missed opportunity. Other than that, the way the resources are indicated is really nice as well. Just by looking at these colors, I can tell right away if I can craft a specific item or not. The active versus disable state for the craft button is helpful in this regard as well. I feel like I don't really like the use of uppercase in this description specifically. I think they have used lowercase in this one, so that would have been nice to have the same kind of convention for all kinds of descriptions and larger text bodies. It makes sense to use uppercase for everything else, but not so much for actual content. Even in these ones, they've used a slightly higher font weight, which I don't feel like was really necessary. Maybe they've done this for better legibility against certain backgrounds, considering that panel is a little bit transparent, but that could have been dealt with in other ways. Oh, also another thing that I just noticed, the scroll bars are a little bit weird. Firstly, it's not really clear where exactly they start and end. And at a glance, it's really impossible to tell how much you'd be able to scroll in a specific list. Even in this one, for example, right now it looks like you are in the middle of the list, but that's not really the case. You can't really scroll up anymore, but it just seems like that's how they've designed this. Regarding the inventory and the item management, we've already talked about the position of the inventory menu, which would have been ideal to have a little bit closer to your quick select menu. In addition, it would have also been nice to have a way to quickly transfer some items between these two. Let's say if I right click or double click, or maybe it can even have like a dedicated button, so I don't really have to drag and drop each item individually. I feel like this might get more problematic and chaotic when I have a lot of items, or maybe if I just need something really urgently. So these kind of options can be helpful. Other than that, the progress bars for these tools, as we've discussed earlier, are fairly clear. They are quite common and we see them in many other games, so that's perfectly fine. And it's already starting to thunder, which is interesting. I'm just starting out and the game is really throwing everything at me. Anyway, so the other thing also is when I try to sprint, the game tells me that I'm too thirsty to be able to sprint, which feels a little bit counterintuitive because I don't exactly understand how exactly thirst would impact your movement. Hunger and health, it definitely makes sense that those are connected, but not exactly thirst. But yeah, so those are some quick impressions which I have from the first run of this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, please leave a like, subscribe and share this video with your friends, and check out some of my other work as well. That's been it. Thanks for watching.